times. Good morning, everybody. It is chilly this morning. Good morning. Damn, everybody in the vote so far is trying to lose weight. All 8 of you. Oh, just walked through a spider web. Hey, why is the connection doing that? There we go. Six four, 240, 250. Oh, okay. Well, you could do that, man. That's give that anywhere between 13, 16 weeks of some real dedication and YouTube chat is wild. It's like people come in and just spout something and then leave. Like, what? Good morning, Kingsley. Good morning. Probably should have wore a sweater or something. It is actually pretty chilly this morning. dude, 30 pounds is not that. It's like, you could do that. I believe in you. At a healthy rate, you could do that potentially in the next, I mean, 30 pounds if you want to do it like in a healthy range, not crashing, uh, then a good 15 weeks of, a consistent deficit, you could hit that easily. So that's a good way to do it. That means you were drinking a lot of soda and beer though. So you should probably examine why you're consuming that much uh, in the first place. So, oh wow, this is a real lopsided vote. Good morning, Michelle. Hey, you know, some people need that. So, I'd rather them lose the weight than not. You know what I mean? Good morning, Richard. Hell yeah. We're out here walking, keeping it moving, getting our steps in, even though it's Labor Day weekend. That's a lot. 50 pounds is a lot, but I don't really know like what the timelines are for Ozempic, so I don't know. No, but lots of medications are used for things they weren't originally intended for. So that's not really a good argument, you know? Like there are, that we find applications for medications um, outside of their primary use, you know? So I just don't, I'm worried. I think about the long term. Like we don't know, we won't, it's a brand new thing. So obviously all things have to go through a new period, but I don't know what the long-term effects could be, you know. And they could be nothing, you know. It could just be a fear thing. Ozempic is popular right now, so of course criticizing it or making it into something people should be afraid of makes sense because that's what gets people to click things. No one wants to read a headline that says Ozempic is fine and there's nothing wrong. You're not going to click on that. You know, you're just not. People like controversy and drama. That's why it sells. So that's why you say, oh, Ozempic causes this and that. And it's like, yes, I'm sure people have had adverse reactions, but by and large, if we're going to hold it to the same standards we hold to every other drug that comes out, like if we're really going to do that, so far it's fine. So um, some people have an adverse reaction to aspirin. Are we going to go pulling that off the shelves? No. So, I do think you should reserve, Ozempic should be kind of reserved for extreme cases where, I don't know, I think diet and exercise are going to be your number ones. So, um, and removing, Yeah, I mean, it's all, any educated person will tell you that diet and exercise are number one. It's number one. What you're putting in yourself and then what you're putting out are the number one, the two, number one and number two factors in how you feel, and how things go. So, um, you know, I was like clinically depressed. Exactly. If it doesn't work for you, now I'd like to analyze, we could always analyze what your diet and exercise really was. Because a lot of people say that they're dieting, but if you're not, I'm talking measuring your food and maintaining a caloric deficit, and I'm talking really give it the time. So that's where the subjective part comes in, because people are real quick to say it wasn't working for me when they weren't putting in the effort, you know? And I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying that's really common. Like, people give up super quick, like right away. So it's crazy how fast people will just stop doing something because it's a little bit difficult. So, you know, if it's truly not working for you, and it becomes a medical necessity where you're going to die if you don't lose this weight, yeah, then I think Ozempic should be there. Do I think that people with diabetes who are taking Ozempic or who need it to be alive should have to pay more because now we're using it for as like a magic weight loss? That's not fair. So how do I lose weight? Here it is. Well, yeah, and see, there's those outlier situations, and that's what it's for. But I think for the mass majority, they say diet and exercise. People who say it's like they don't diet and exercise doesn't work for them. I really question the diet and exercise that they think they were doing, because people say, oh, I just had a serving of peanut butter. Well, if you had a big heaping spoonful, if you stuck a regular sized spoon in there and took a big, that's not one serving. It's like two and a half. So people, you know, there's no answer. There's no hard answer to that, of course. But I will give you the simple. I will give you the simple answer to losing weight. Figure out what your maintenance calories are. You know how you do this? Don't adjust your diet at all for a week. Write down everything you eat. Don't adjust it. Don't just do what you normally do. Write it down. Weigh yourself every morning for that entire week and take an average. If your weight went up from the beginning with what you're eating, then you are in a surplus. If your weight stays the same, then you are in a maintenance phase. You're eating at caloric maintenance. Um, don't say it doesn't apply to you, because the laws of thermodynamics always apply to you. Um, find out where that caloric maintenance level is, where if you eat this amount of calories, your weight stays generally unchanged, other than a water weight fluctuation. There's always going to be that. So it generally stays the same at this caloric rate. Then cut 250 calories, cut 500 calories. The maximum, I would say, is 1,000 calorie deficit, but those are tough, and those cause a lot of what's called diet fatigue, and people fail. So I'd say if you're just getting into weight loss and you're just starting, something like a 250 to 300 calorie deficit is a great place to start, because you can kind of ramp into the deficit versus just diving right in. Um, Depends on your situation, though. You know, if you're gonna have a heart attack any moment, you might need that 1,000 calorie deficit. You might need more. If you're just trying to drop 10 pounds, you don't really have a big timeline thing you need. You could probably do, you know, something like, you know, 500. That's pretty manageable. Even 300. Look at it this way. It's something like if you were to take 10 calories off a day, which is like the bite of an apple, less a day, in a year, it's something like 10 pounds that calorically adds up to. So tapeworms work. The treadmill is great. I just like walking outside. It's nice. I live in outside Chicago, so this time of year I like to be outside as much as I can because a lot of the months of the year it's too cold to do this. So uh, you don't have to cut out bread. You just have to account for it. So have less of it. But this idea that you can't, restriction doesn't work. This whole idea that I cannot have this food is just, that's proven to fail. you know, unless it's like you have some sort of medical need to not have that anymore. Um, I found that if I'm craving ice cream, it's better for me to just have a bite or like a half serving of ice cream than to deny it. Because if I just go, I can't have it, I find that when I start doing that behavior a lot, I end up in a binge down the line. And it doesn't have to be that day, or it could be a couple days later. But if I find myself, I'll overindulge somewhere else when I'm in that restrictive mindset. So you can have a bite of something. Here's the thing, you don't have to eat all of something. There's no requirement to eat everything in front of you. You can have a bite and you can enjoy the flavor and taste of things. You can have that experience and then you can just move on. You know, this idea that I ordered it, so I got to eat the whole thing. That's a really, really bad way to think. So, you're retracting. I didn't see your messages, but dude, why are you being weird? Oh, if no one cares. Yeah, I didn't see your message. Oh well. Uh, I was pontificating. let me let me pontificate. How do I know how many calories food is? I'm not a calculator. This guy. Uh, it's silly. They put all that information on the package. Yeah, I definitely should have put a sweater on. It is, what is it, like 60? It's got to be like 60 degrees, which isn't cold, but when you're in shorts and a t-shirt, it kind of is. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers. Check out the channel. We've got plenty of motivation on there. A ton of before and afters. It's mostly before and afters. But that's what got me started. I saw plenty of before and afters. The big guys getting in the gym, putting some muscle on, losing the weight. And that's what got me going. So I'm hoping to, it's like, kind of pass the buck, turn around, and hopefully the next guy might see my stuff. They might get up and start working out. It's a snowball effect. So Yeah, man, it's really just focus on portions. You can eat white, like one of the staples of bodybuilders' uh, diets is white rice. You know, you can have any kind of rice. You can have seasoned rice. You can have whatever kind of rice you want. Carbs are not bad for you. Carbs are not what are keeping you fat. You know, it's not. There is no such thing as an evil nutrient. You know, there just isn't. So you can have things. You just have to track them. Keep an idea of how much you're putting in your body. Control the portions. You know, but you need to know what the portions are. And I'm talking buy a kitchen scale. Go to Walmart, they're like 20 bucks. Get a cheap one. Just look at the package. It says 28 grams is this much. Weigh out 28 grams and see. And then you don't have to, you end up not having to do that every time because you start to get a good feel for it. You start to really actually understand portions after you start doing it. It becomes almost shorthand. And once you get there, it's so easy, you know? Once you realize it's just a math equation, you are a machine and you're going to plug in this, you're going to plug in nutrients, which are your, and it's going to give you a result. But weight loss is done in the kitchen. Your physique is built in the gym. Well, after you've weighed something out 7 or 8 times, you get pretty good at weighing it. It's just eyeballing it, you know? Handle something enough and handle anything enough and you'll do that. So, but every day I'm weighing out turkey because I want to make sure I'm getting that protein. I'm weighing out, I'm taking a quick weight of that sweet potato. I'm taking, you know, so you don't have to do that with everything, but people say diet and exercise doesn't work for them. But then I ask, yeah, but do you actually even know what you're eating? You may say, oh, I'm eating healthy foods, I'm eating clean, but how much of it are you eating? You know, you can eat super clean and still get fat because you're eating too many calories. It's just, you know, so this idea that you can just eat what, if it's clean, you can eat as much of it as you want is bullshit. And this idea that because it's not clean, you can't have it at all is also bullshit. There's no, it's like these hard, there's no black and white. There just isn't. Oh, what's up, Gun Rack? Man, you missed all the streams this morning. I'm just getting back to my apartment, so I'm gonna take a nice warm shower. It's 60 degrees, it's like 60 degrees out here, so I am nice and chilled. I am a chilled gentleman. So, gonna have a nice shower. If I could have you guys go ahead and double tap your screen real quick like this. Double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, tap, tap. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. If you've got a long weekend, enjoy it. Get your rest. Maybe see your families. Maybe see people you love. Spend some time, or just get some sleep, you know. If you don't have a